Welcome to my channel. I'm Scott, and in this video I'm going to walk you through the process of valuing a Rivian stock by analyzing their financial statements and dissecting their financial ratios so we can determine if it's a buy or a sell. Let's get started with the model. This is a mid-cap company, 8.9 billion market cap. They're trading at $9 a share, and they have 975 million shares outstanding. Rivian is an electric vehicle manufacturer. It produces an electric sport utility vehicle and pickup truck on a skateboard platform that can support future vehicles or be adopted by other companies. The company started deliveries of its R1T pickup truck in late 2021. They have a manufacturing plant in Normal, Illinois, so it's US made. They also plan to build another $5 billion factory in the state of Georgia. Let's look at their financials. The way you value a company is you estimate the free cash flows into the future, and then you discount those numbers back to today's value. That's what we're doing in this video. And free cash flow is cash flow from operations minus capital expenditures. They do have negative free cash flow each year, so it is hard to value the company. Net income is the profit or loss on the income statement. It's revenue minus expenses. That's also negative every single year. Revenue is the sales for the company, and they had no revenue in 2020, 55 million in 2021. Then it went up almost 3,000% to 1.7 billion in 2022. Then up more than 150% to 4.4 billion in 2023. So really impressive revenue growth. And their revenue per share is $4.55. The share price is $9.13. We estimated 4 years of future free cash flows. We also estimated a terminal value, which is all cash flows past year 4, that's 27 billion. We discounted those numbers back to today using the weighted average cost of capital. We get a value of the company of $9.4 billion. We divide that by 975 million shares. And we get a calculated stock price of $9.61. They're trading at $9.13, so they're trading at a 5% discount. It's a buy according to the model. I use the analyst estimates for their free cash flow for 2024, 2025, and 2026. I know it's hard to tell what number is on this chart. I'll show you later in more detail. But you can see this box up here shows you the point for 2026. And free cash flow, negative 2.9 billion, which is right here. The revenue forecast for 2026 is 13.4 billion. I assume their 2027 revenue will be 13.4 billion times 1.3, or 30% higher than 13.4 billion. Then I assume they would convert 15% of their revenue into free cash flow. That's why I multiplied it by 0.15. That's how I got 2.6 billion of free cash flow for 2027. And then a terminal value assumes a 2.5% growth into perpetuity. So if they do all that, the stock seems valued appropriately. There are 30 companies in the same industry as Rivian. If they have a number in red, they're worse than the median. If they have a number in blue, they're better. They spend 1 billion in capex, a far cry from Toyota, 15.5 billion, GM, 11.6 billion, Tesla, nearly 9 billion. A pretty good debt to equity ratio, 0.6. Which is between the median and average. Ford is really leveraged, 3.5. They have a lot of debt. I think they're the most indebted company in the world, but they pay a massive dividend. Rivian, of course, does not pay a dividend because they still have negative free cash flow. Stellantis generates the most free cash flow, over 15 billion. Rivian ranks 10th in market cap. Of course, Tesla is number 1. They used to be over 1 trillion market cap. Now they're slightly over half a trillion, but Toyota should be number 1. They're trading at 1 times book value, which is better than the median average. We can't look at their PE since they have negative earnings. Stellantis has the best PE. They're trading at 4 times earnings. We can't look at their price to free cash flow. They have negative free cash flow. Li Auto is the best at 5 times free cash flow. They're trading at 2 times revenue, which is an appealing multiple. Ford is the best at 0.3. They generate 4.4 billion of revenue, a lot less than the average, because there's some really big companies in this industry, north of 100 billion revenue. And we can't look at their 5-year annual revenue growth rate. They haven't been generating revenue that long. NIO is 61%, they're the highest. Look at Tesla, still growing strong, 35%. If you were silly enough to invest $10,000 into this company when they IPO'd, you would have lost most of your investment. Your $10,000 would be a little over $700 today, a 93% loss. Here's a list of the top 10 EV cars in the US in 2023. The top 2 is Tesla, which probably a lot of people could have guessed. Model Y is number 1, close to 400,000 units. Model 3, 220,000 units. Chevy Bolt is number 3. Then you have Ford, Volkswagen, Hyundai, and there's Rivian, number 7, at close to 25,000 units. Next is the Ford Lightning, Tesla Model X, and BMW. These red bars are their total sales by units. From the fourth quarter of 2021, 909 units. You can see that right here, 909. It grew to 1,200 units the following quarter, 1,227. Then blew up to over 4,000 in 2Q 2022, nearly 4,500. Then the following quarter, up to 6,500. Then they broke through 8,000. But that's the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter is usually the best quarter for most companies due to the holidays, people spending more money. So it did regress the following quarter to a little under 8,000, 7,946. Then they finally broke through 10,000. Second quarter 2023, 12,640. Then the third quarter of 2023, their best quarter ever, over 15,000. Then it regressed to a little under 14,000. Then 13,500. They actually produced more cars in the fourth quarter of 2023 than any quarter ever, 17,500, but they actually sold 14. So historically, they produced nearly 100,000 cars. So in 10 quarters, they produced the same amount of cars as Toyota produces in 3 days. In 2023, Toyota produced 11.2 million cars. That's 930,000 a month, 215,000 a week, 30,000 a day. I know it's hard to compare these companies, but I just wanted to put it into perspective for you. Let's take a look at their financials. Here's their income statement, 2021, 2022, and 2023. You can see amazing revenue growth, 55 million to 1.7 billion to 4.4 billion. Their revenue grew 167% from 2022 to 2023, an improvement of 2.8 billion. Delivery volume went from 20,000 to 50,000. That went up 147%. The increase in revenue was due to 30,000 more cars being sold. They sold 30,000 more when you compare 2023 to 2022. Also, an increased average selling price, so each car costs more, in addition to sales of non-Rivian vehicle trade-ins. Included in revenue was $73 million of regulatory environmental credit sales. So these are customer rebates, tax write-offs. We expect to increase our non-vehicle revenue, including the sale of regulatory credits over time. Cost of revenue, are all the expenses directly tied to generating the revenue, is higher than revenue for every single year. So they have a negative gross profit, negative 2 billion. Last year was negative 3 billion. With economies of scale and the tax credits, they should have a positive gross profit this year. The biggest operating expenses, R&D 2 billion, SG&A 1.7 billion. So total operating expenses 3.7 billion, an operating loss of 5.7 billion. They received 500 million of interest on their investments. They paid 220 million of interest on their debt. So they have a net loss of 5.4 billion. And here's production volume by year. 1,000 in 2021, 24,000 in 2022, 57,000 in 2023. Delivery volume, how much they actually sold, 920 in 2021, 20,000 in 22, 50,000 in 23. Let's look at their balance sheet. Current assets of 12 billion, current liabilities of 2.5 billion, so a really high current ratio. Cash was 11.5 billion, down to 7.9 billion. They do have 1.5 billion of short-term investments, so it's like 9 billion of cash. The 1.5 billion of short-term investments are United Treasury securities and term deposits. An example of a term deposit is a CD. In long-term assets, they have 3.9 billion of PP&E. Here's a breakdown of the 3.9 billion. 1 billion of land, 400 million of leasehold improvements, 3 billion of machinery, equipment, vehicles, and office furniture, 500 million of computer equipment, and 700 million of construction in progress. The gross value is 5.7 billion. They depreciated 1.8 billion. So the value on the balance sheet is 3.9 billion. Total assets 17 billion, down from 18 billion. Total liabilities 7.6 billion. Their biggest liability is long-term debt, 4.4 billion. Here's a breakdown of the long-term debt. 1.25 billion of 2026 notes. That has a high interest rate, 12%. 2029 green convertible notes, 1.5 billion. That's a low interest rate, 4.9%. 2030 green convertible notes, 1.7 billion, 3.8% interest. They explain the green convertible notes, the 2029 notes, In March 2023, they issued $1.5 billion of 2029 green convertible notes at a $15 million discount. When it says convertible, that means a debt is convertible into equity if the share price hits a certain point. So if the stock price hits $20, then the holder of the debt will convert that debt to equity, which is what this company wants. So they remove the debt off their balance sheet and they don't have to pay the principal. If the stock price never breaks through 20, that means Rivian has to pay back the debt, which is hard to do when you're losing money. Assets minus liabilities equals equity. They have $9 billion of equity. They raised $28 billion from selling their business. They lost $19 billion from running their business. Accumulated deficit is a sum of all their prior net incomes. Let's look at a statement of cash flows 2021, 2022, and 2023. In their operating section, they had a cash outflow of $5 billion, same as last year. The way you calculate operating cash flow, you start with your net loss, $5.4 billion. Then you add back the non-cash items on the income statement, depreciation $900 million, SBC $800 million. They bought a lot of inventory, $1.6 billion, that's a cash outflow. When they sell the inventory, it'll be a cash inflow. Of course, they sold a lot of inventory in 2023, but they bought more than they sold. They bought $1.6 billion more than they sold. Hopefully in 2024, they sell more than they purchase, so their statement of cash flows looks healthy. In their investing section, they bought $2.4 billion of short-term investments. This is so they could earn a little interest on the cash. They probably bought treasuries, corporate bonds. CapEx $1 billion, which is lower than prior years. In their financing section, they raised $3.2 billion from selling convertible notes, those green notes, and they had a cash outflow of $108 million from capped call options. A capped call option means the profit is capped. If the stock price rises past a certain point, the holder of the option will not benefit, so their potential profit is capped. So in their financing section, they had a cash inflow of $3.1 billion. Let's take a look at the company on Simply Wall Street. Its last price, $913, $8.9 billion market cap, down 10% in the past week, down 32% in the past year. Let's see what they say about the company. Rivian develops, designs, manufactures, and sells electric vehicles and accessories. They sell consumer vehicles, including a 2-row, 5-passenger pickup under the R1T brand, a 3-row, 7-passenger SUV under the R1S name. It also provides consumer services such as digital financing and leasing, insurance, vehicle maintenance and repair, software services, and charging solutions. They design, develop, manufacture, and operate the Rivian Adventure Network direct current fast chargers, as well as Fleet OS, a proprietary end-to-end centralized fleet management subscription platform. They also offer Rivian commercial van platform for electric delivery van with collaboration with Amazon, their biggest shareholder. The company sells its products directly to customers in the consumer and commercial markets. They were founded in 2009, based in Irvine, California. They IPO'd at the end of 2021 at about $70, and the stock shot up real fast. It peaked right away at $150, but it was all downhill since then. In November 2021, it was $150. A month later, $90. Then the following month, $66. Then 2 months later in March, $36. In the beginning of 2023, it was $17. And then it rose to $26 in mid-2023. So it looks like there was some life left in the stock. But it came down a lot from mid-2023 to current. So currently, as of the day I'm doing this video, it's trading at its all-time low. I could see a little more downside, maybe down to 7 or 6. But I don't see that much upside. 27 analysts priced this stock at 18, so they see a lot more upside than I do. They had no revenue in 2020, almost no revenue in 2021, $55 million, up to $1.7 billion in 2022, $4.4 billion in 2023. The forecast for 2024 is $4.9 billion, so not that much growth. Although in 2025, the forecast is $8 billion, 2026, $13.4 billion. But the forecast for free cash flow is projected to be negative over the next few years. Negative $3 billion by 2026. This red line is their debt. They pretty much had no debt in 2019 and 2020. They added $3 billion in 2021, paid down a little bit, but now it's up to $4.4 billion. This blue line is their equity, which is higher than their debt. Currently, their equity is $9 billion, debt of $4 billion. But they have a lot of cash on their balance sheet. Most of their equity is cash. The CEO's salary is $650,000. Total compensation $1 million. Tenure as CEO 15 years. In the past year, there's been only insider selling, no buying. 100,000 shares have been sold by insiders. Half the companies owned by institutions, 20% by the general public, 17% by public companies, 10% by private companies, and 1% by insiders. Amazon is the biggest shareholder. They own 16%. This company has a partnership with Amazon. Amazon is supposed to convert a lot of their vans to Rivian EVs. That's still in the works. They have converted some. Abdul Latif, a Saudi Arabian fund, owns 11%. Then T. Rowe Price, BlackRock, Vanguard, Fidelity. Lots of big names. UBS. Ford owns 1%. First Trust, Northern Trust. You could trust these companies. And their employee count has gone up a lot, which is usually a good sign. 6,000 in 2021, 17,000 in 2023. And the ticker trades on the NASDAQ, Mexican Bolsa, Deutsche Börse, and London Stock Exchange. So let me know what you think. Give the video a like, subscribe, or comment below. If you'd like to get a custom valuation or just support the channel, you can become a member by clicking on the link in the description below. Thanks for watching.